What's up, guys? Welcome to IT Security Labs. Today we're going to do a live stream and we'll complete a machine from Vulnhub called Immersion. This is a free machine. You can download these and practice your ethical hacking skills. So that's what we're going to complete today. And by the time we're done, we should be able to get root access on this machine. So start from the beginning where we do enumeration and try to find out how we can break into this machine. And this is really great for us to learn ethical hacking. So if you haven't seen me before, my name is Howard and I have a YouTube channel called IT Security Labs, and I live stream and also share my learning experience with everyone. And today I'm going live and just showing you what we can learn from this machine. This machine was created by this creator here called Cold, and it's a really wonderful machine. I think we're going to learn something today. So if you haven't, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. I live stream there every Sunday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Otherwise, here is my setup. I'm using Kali Linux for my attack machine, and our vulnerable machine we just downloaded from Vulnhub. And I downloaded this OVA here. So if you want to follow along, download this OVA. It works well when you put it in VirtualBox. So I have it in VirtualBox here. So that's our setup here. Otherwise, this is supposed to be an easy machine, and I'll show you my methodology and also share with you my notes and how I do things. So before we're wasting time, let's get started here, because I want this to be quick. First, I'll show you how I'm able to find out what my network is. I have a network set up like this, simple pfSense firewall for a local network. I do that because I like pfSense, and also it allows me to sniff traffic if I need to. And here's my Kali Linux. Then the same network is what's connected in VirtualBox, shared via net. Otherwise, let's find out what our IP address is. If you go to pfSense DHCP leases, here's the machine, and it's 192.168.38.20. So let's ping that. 192.168.38.20. We have responses. So first thing that I do is I'm going to try to find out more information about our victim machine. So we do nmap -sv -sc. Let's do all ports like that. 192.168.38.20. So I'm running a simple nmap scan against our victim machine, and this should, oh, that's not a valid IP. This will find any open ports on the victim machine. And as you can see, this machine is actually very simple to complete, so we're just getting started here. If you're just joining us, we are attacking a machine from Vulnhub called Immersion Fusion. This is a free machine that you can attack to learn ethical hacking, and I downloaded it and I just started the attack right now. I'm running nmap -sv. This is going to look for service version for any services that I have. SC will use nmap default scripts, and then -p will go for all ports, not just the top 1000 ports, and this is our IP address of our victim machine. So as you can see, we have port 80, Apache 2.4, and for whatever reason they put port SSH on port 3042. So this is really good information for us to remember in the future. So what I would do here is, let's start with port 80, because that's the easiest one to go for. Just go to the site. What is the website? What does it look like? Let's see what we have here. It doesn't look like we have much going on here. There is a button here that says click for author. I think this will take us to Twitter, where it will show us who wrote this machine. So this is just the the creator's way of showing us that they created the machine. That's the name. So let's go back to our machine. Let's view the page source. All right, so we have a few things here, some JavaScript that doesn't give us much, but you can click and try to see if you can see anything. But as far as I can tell, there's nothing interesting there. So here's where things get interesting. Next, let's go and brute force some directories. And for that, I like to use GoBuster. And I've my cheat sheet here so that I don't spend time worrying about syntax and stuff like that. But I'll explain what I'm doing here to you. Let's clear that. If I were to use GoBuster, all I'm doing is I'm going to bust some directories on that system. It's 192.168.38.20. This will brute force for any directories from this word list here. Directory list medium.txt. That's my first one to get started. Then after, if I don't find anything, I use the big.txt. But for now, let's bust some directories. And as you can see, it's very quick in this case. Sometimes it takes a long time. I have a login page. So let's go check that one out right now. And let's see what we have. Login, very, very secure. So this is going to be exciting. It's supposed to be very, very secure. Let's view the page source before we start testing default credentials here. Curious what they use to display that. Just generic, probably Apache in the background. Oh yeah, it's Apache 2.3. But we do have a message for hi Carlos. So that's a user. I'll copy that and save it to know that I now have a user Carlos. Maybe I can use this name to brute force for password using roku.txt. But if you read this, it says I leave your password in a file called carlos.txt. So we're seeing this in the page source. So carlos.txt is a directory somewhere on the system. We don't know where it is yet, but we will find out. Carlos.txt, so I'll copy that as well. And let me add it to my notes here. So I have a user, and I now know that there's a directory called carlos.txt. So let's sign in. And maybe password is admin. I'm just guessing here. Trying to see how it responds. So right away, we can view the page source again after it tries to sign in. There's nothing, it just says 1. But what you also notice that if you look at the URL, even though it's blank, it's giving us this question mark user equals to Carlos and pass equals admin. This is typical of local file inclusion or LFI. And from here, what I would like to do is I would like to test if this is actually vulnerable to LFI. Remember, I know that there's a file called carlos.txt. Maybe that's a hint. So I'll see. I see we have more people here. And if you just joined us, we are attacking a machine from Vulnhub called Immersion. It's a simple machine. And right now I just found out that I might have local file inclusion here. Best thing for me to do is to test to see if it's actually vulnerable. And it doesn't look like it's going to be the user parameter. Since I want to access the file, what I can do is I can fuzz this for LFI using burp. So what I would do is I'll copy so first let's try to just do it manually. We'll try with the most popular one. I'll do 4 first. etc such pass wd. All right, I don't see anything. It's probably because I'm not using the right parameter here. So in that case, I'll fuzz for that parameter. I will use burp suite, and I'm using the latest version of burp here, and it comes with its own Google Chrome. So what I would do is I'll just paste it here. All right. So it looks like I'm not intercepting. Let's try it again. All right, so there we go. So now I need to find out, is this thing vulnerable to LFI? And if it is, I'll know. What I have to do is I'll just change this parameter here and fuzz to see which parameter are they using, because I don't know what parameter they're using. So let's send this to intruder. And in intruder, what I would like to do is, let's go to positions. I don't want to mess with this position, so I'll clear all the positions. This is the parameter that I want to fuzz for. So I'll add that parameter. Then let's go to payloads. I'll just load the payloads. I have a LFI params.text, which I can show you here. Let me show you the parameters that I'm passing. I found these parameters from a GitHub location. Holy crap, I have so much stuff in here. All right, let me load them in burp, then I can show you. You'll be able to see. But the LFI params.text is just a list of parameters that you can test for LFI. You can look them up on Google. Should be able to find. So here are the parameters that I'm trying: ID, action, page, and there's a lot of them. And I'll use intruder to test which one of these is the website using. That's the first part. So let's see if I'll be able to find one. I'll just start the attack, because as far as I am concerned, yeah, all my options are good. All right, let's start the attack with burp. Let's see. And what I'm looking at is the change here. All right. Doesn't look like it changed. Let me make sure that I have the right page here. Let's send it to intruder again. Positions, which I would like to clear. I have 1, 2, let me put a third one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I start with 4. All right. Now let's set that as our parameter. My payload, let me load the params.text, which is just a list of known LFI parameters. So let's start the attack. All right, now we did something. So usually it's going to be one of these, either ID, action, or page. In this case, page is the right parameter. If you look here, I don't know if I'll be able to see, but page is the right parameter here. So let's go and stop this, because we found the right parameter. That's how we fuzz for parameters using burp. I can go back here to Google Chrome. Instead of user, I now know it's page. And then I'll just do the normal test for LFI by adding more of these until I find something. In this case, it's very simple. I'm able to read the users. I already know I have a user Carl's, so that doesn't help me much. I don't have any other interesting users, do I? Yeah, I have a user Carl's. But remember, from our page source, it said that we had a file in, let me show you again. The login page's source showed us that there is a file somewhere on the system. We want to find that file. Okay, cars.txt inside of /var. So let's go find that file using our local file inclusion here. All right, so now we see that we have cars and this base64 here. So it looks like a password combination. Let's decode this base64. We can use burp's decoder if you wanted to. You can paste it here. decode is base 64. So if you decode that, it says it's Carlos. So from here, it looks like we have Carlos as our username and password combination. So let's go and sign in with that, because from our initial enumeration here, we found out that we have put 3042 with SSH. So let's go and sign in with that. So SSH Carlos at 192.168.38.20. Oh, the port is different for SSH. SSH is on port 3042. So let's use the right port here. And it wants the password, Carlos, we just found. And let's see. Let's go back here. Oh, it's Carlos. So let's put that password as Carlos. And we're in. So that was a simple LFI fuzzing and also how to get in. So now the fun part begins. We need to become root. Right now we're just this user Carlos, and this doesn't help me much. I want to become root on this system. So what I would do is I'll show you my methodology here. I think it's helpful. I have a privilege escalation tab here that I use for as my cheat sheet. And one of the first things that I look for is SUIDs. But before I do SUIDs, I usually just try to enumerate manually, like going to home, see how many users are there. And I know that there's another user here. So maybe there's a lateral movement here. I need to become that user. I'll find out. Nothing hidden here. So the next one is I do a sudo -l. In this case, I have a password, so I can say Carlos. And interesting enough, I know that I can run this as that user that I just found cold. So I can run bin bash. This just means that I can switch the user to that other user, which I'm going to do. But the next one is, if I didn't find that, I usually look for SUIDs. So let's just look at for your SUIDs. I'm just doing this just because, but I know that this is going to be my way in right here. But I don't have any SUIDs here. You might be curious, like, how do I know? I'm looking for any binary that is running and that looks interesting, but this time I don't have any. So let's do what they told us. We can run bin bash as user cold. So we can say sudo -u cold, like that. Then we run the command that we can run. In this case, is bin bash. And look what happens. It switches the user, and now I'm this new user cold. So let's clear our screen here. Now that I'm the user cold, I can go to the directory. Again, I'll do the same thing, ls-la. What do I have here? Do they have bash history? Bash history will show you their history just in case they ran some interesting commands. In this case, they didn't. They just ran the exit command. But we have do not run.py. Oh, we like that. We also have this hidden sudo as admin successful. I don't think there's anything in here. No, there's nothing. Oh, we have a user.txt. What is this? Let's check our flag. That's our first flag. It's base 64, so we can decode that by doing this. I'm showing you a second method of decoding base 64. At first, I showed you how to do it in burp. This time we can just do it from here. base 64 minus D. So what we did is we were echoing that to base 64, and I don't know what that means, but it means something interesting, I guess. There's a smiley face, so I think that's interesting. I'll just move on, but I found my first flag. Now let's go and find a way to get root here, because we're still this user here. Do not run.py is owned by root, but here's the interesting thing about this file. It's in our home directory, so that means that we should be able to remove it. If anything else, we can delete it because we own this directory. Let's see if we can mess with it. It looks like, according to the permissions here, we can only read it, which in this case, and it says print, I told you, so it's saying do not run. It's complaining about something about permissions. See, as you can see, probably. Oh no, it's saying Python 3. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. So it printed, I told you, multiple times, because that's what it does. Okay. But we own this this location where the file resides, so we should be able to mess with it. Let's check for permissions again. Sudo -L. What can we run is our current user with root privileges. That's what sudo -L does. Guess what? We can run do not run.py. So this is the game over. We can run that as root without any issues. So let's use VI. Instead of printing this, oh, I don't think I can do anything here. Can I insert something? Okay, I'm going to try to save this, but I think my permissions, yeah, my permissions said I can only. My permissions said I can only read. So that's silly that I thought I can edit it, because according to here I can only read. Let's see if we can remove it. Oh yeah. All right, so I can delete it. What that means is I can then replace that file with one that I like, with my contents that I own. So let's do that. All right, so now that I have this file here and I want to put it in here, I can do two things. I can put a reverse shell here, or I can just make it give me permission. But this is a Python script, by the way, so let's go to our cheat sheet, or we can write one. In my reverse shells here, I have Python. I have a few that I used. This is the normal Python that we normally use if we're putting it in a bash script, right? Let's reuse this one. So we have an import OS, then we just have this here. So instead of being in these brackets, we just reuse this, because why not? But I don't want a shell, I want bash. All right. So we will import OS, then after that, we'll just run bash, and this should give us another shell as root, or we can put a reverse shell here. Let me know in the comments if which one you prefer. It doesn't matter. We can put a netcat Python reverse shell in here, or we can just spawn a shell right where we are. I think that's the easiest. So let's actually do that. Let me make sure that I don't have unnecessary. All right, so I'm importing OS and I want the OS to give me bash. I can't read that, so all right, so it looks like we did it. All right, so according to sudo -l, I should be able to run this. And I'm just going to do that. Just sudo. And remember, according to my script, I want you to spawn me a shell back here. So look at that. Perfect. So now we are root. We should be able to just go to /root and get our root flag. And our root flag is here. So let's see if we can copy that. Let's decode that again. I'll show you again in burp. I just chose here decode as. Okay, I don't know what that means, but that's our flag. That's our root flag. So that was super fun. If you like this type of content and if you are interested in learning ethical hacking, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, IT Security Labs. I show these live streams every Sunday. I attack a machine just like what we just did here. So if you are interested in learning more and seeing things live like I'm doing here, just subscribe to this IT Security Labs YouTube channel. Otherwise, thank you for watching and I'll see you next time. Thanks.